So I went back and I watched the initial video of me and Storm when we made that training video, and I figured it was about time to update it and refresh your memories on dog training and puppy training. A lot of you guys who've watched that video probably almost about a year ago now, about a year ago, probably have older dogs now. Storm's about to be 2, and I just want to refresh your memories that you keep that training up. It doesn't change for the most part. You can get more advanced in different things that you do. But as far as like refreshing how you still say their name, still reward them, and even if you have a new dog and you're watching this can apply to you. So it's a win-win for everyone. So let's just get started. So like I've said before, when you're training your dog, sit. You don't want to have treats in your hand. You don't want to make it like a bribe. Look at her, she already knows. She's like, you can have treats, that's all I want, that's all I care about. I'm gonna do whatever it takes to get that in your hand. So just kind of make it non-existent. Take a couple of them, get rid of the bag, and I usually just throw them in my pocket. You can keep one of those like sack things or whatever, but I just keep it in my pocket. We're just gonna do like some simple stuff. Teaching a dog a name, which is, you know, like the first thing you should do. You should be doing it on the way home. One thing that I always do with Storm when we're gonna do a heavy training day, when I know we try to do training every day, but there's like certain days of the week where like that's what we'll do. We'll dedicate an hour of just refreshing training, lay down, hey, excuse yourself, being rude. So we'll just do, when it's a big training day, and I know I'm gonna spend at least an hour training with her, refreshing her memory, whether it's going out for walks, which is what we're gonna talk about today. Because the last video I talked about sit, lay down, and teaching the dog her name. So real quick for you beginner guys, I'm gonna talk about training a dog her name, and then we're gonna get into potty training, crate training, and walking. So, but we're just gonna stay real basic with the walking. We're not gonna do pulling or anything like that. Just gonna give you a real tip, a real good tip to make sure you don't fail before you even start. Because it's really important. So one thing I do before I know I'm gonna start training my dog is to play with her for at least 15 to 20 minutes. This will wear the dog out. It will also make her more conscious to like what we're doing. She'll still think it's playtime even though we're actually training, because you want to keep the training fun. You don't want to make it like a chore, you know what I mean? You want to always keep it fun and playful. So play with the dog, wear her out a little bit, or him, and they will definitely respond more to the training. It's just how it works. Dogs that are worn out a little bit, it's just how it works. I don't know, it works for me, so try it out. Like I said in the other video, I'm not a professional dog trainer, but these are the things that work for me. So 15 to 20 minutes of playtime and then start training. So mama, drop it. So Storm does know a little bit of German. I know my German accent sucks. You can put it in the comments. I really don't care. It's more about what the word is that I use. It's not about how I say. Maybe it's not German perfectly, but it's what I use. So anyway, aus, 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 aus. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. All right. So she let go of that toy, and we're gonna get rid of the toy because that's all she's gonna want. When you teach your dog his or her name, you want to always make sure you're above eye level. You don't want to be down low with the dog. You don't want to be down on their level. You want to stay above and make sure they understand that you're the one in charge. Come here. So the first thing you're going to do, all right, this is for you beginner guys, not for people who are more advanced. Storm, come here. Storm, come here. Storm, good girl. You want to establish eye contact always. So whether it's just a little snap, good girl. As soon as they make eye contact with you, you're going to reward the dog immediately. So right now she's looking down at my hand, but watch. Good girl, good girl. So when they make that eye contact initially, you do that a few times, and then slowly implement the name. Storm, good girl, good girl. What are you doing? Sit. Storm, 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 Storm. Good girl. So I let her see eye contact, and then I said her name, and then rewarded her, and keep doing that. Mama, Storm, Storm, get. Storm, good girl. Storm, Storm. She's not looking at me yet. Storm. Storm. Good girl. Good girl. Now she already knows her name, so she's kind of like, what are you doing, dude? Just give me the damn treat. But it's make sure this has to deal with a lot of other things too. So if you're going for walks and they don't listen to you, and you're walking your dog and you're saying Storm, and they don't give you that initial eye contact, and they're just ignoring you, then that tells you right there that you need to work on that name, or maybe walk around the house with the leash on and give the light tug. So we're gonna go into the walking tips now, because this is really important. All right, so first thing you wanna do when you're walking your dog, and you can do this in your house, and it's important to start practicing this right away, it's walking out of the door. This is something I see people fail with all the time, and I see people head out of the door with their dogs, and their dog just barges out of the door first before them. Right there you failed, and you need to try again. You need to walk out of the door first, and the dog needs to understand that you're in charge. So if we head to the door, sit. Good girl. This is how you do this. Good girl. She knows. No, sit. She knows I go out the door first. Sit. Good girl. Lie. Keep in mind, Storm knows German, so stay is what I just said to her. Sit. 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 Good girl. Good girl. Come on. Alright, so you notice how I went out the door first. This is really important. If the dog just barges out of the door, and you know, one of those people that are just, you know, the dog, come on. Sorry, Mom, I didn't mean, come on, baby. You know, I just like wrecked my house. But anyway, I've done this. I've done this myself, and I know that it's a mistake that you have to practice at, and that is the first step right there to keeping your dog trained on a leash. So that's the biggest tip I can give you as of right now with walking. I'm going to leave a link right here for the video I have on leash pulling that'll help you more train your dog. But real quick, we can do a quick tip. And this is something you guys can do in your living room. That's why I'm showing you guys this. Sit. So, I put one leg up, right? She knows not to move yet, but she's going to follow this leg. So it always keeps her me in front, me in the lead. Here. Good girl. Good girl. Now reward. She's now understanding that she follows this leg. She does not go before me. I always go first. I'm in charge. I'm in control, not her. Sit. Now, another thing you can do is make sure they understand what it means when you tug on the leash. Storm, here, here, here. Good girl. Now, I'm not talking about yanking the leash. Just a little slight tug. Here, here, here. Good girl. Here, here. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl, Mama. So now she understands that when I tug this way, I need her to go this way. When I tug this way, I need her to go this way. So those are things that you can practice just in your living room. You don't need to be outside. Now, once you start, the dog starts understanding. Now she's up here, here, here. Good girl. She now understands that when I say here and I give a light tug, I want her to come this way. So this is just something real quick you could do in your house. And it's what I do still to this day to make sure, because pit bulls love to pull, they love to run, they have 4 legs, we have 2. They're going to naturally want to be in front. But you have to make them understand that that's not okay. You're in charge, you're in the lead, and they follow you, they listen to you. So, I see people all the time walking down the street with their dog, and you know, I have leash pulling video. Like I said, I'll leave that in the link below, and also up here in the you know, right here. So, like I said, practice that door thing, you know. Going out the door is number 1. You get to the door, sit, open it. She still knows not to move until I go out that door first. Good girl. Here, 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 here. Good girl. Now, you can keep practicing that. Keep practicing that until they get it, you know? So it's up to you. We still practice it to this day. We're practicing it right now. Now, as far as leash pulling goes, you stretch that out. So you don't want to start walking around the block. Everything a dog does is coming in like consistency and increments. So you don't want to just, okay, she got the door thing, we're ready to go for a walk for 3 miles. That's not what you want to do. You want to start out small. Go to the end of the block or make a street sign, okay? Walk to there. Make sure they understand and then walk back. Do that a few times. Make it a little bit longer. Then start going a little bit farther and farther and farther, and then eventually you will have your dog straight next to you with no pulling at all. And like I said, I have a whole video on that, but you guys can check that out in the links below. So next thing I want to do, and I get this video question all the time, is crate training. So we'll talk about a little bit of crate training real quick. Storm, come here. Actually, let me pop the camera off here. So when you have a puppy, here's her cage, her area, and it's up to you. I'm not against leaving your dog in the cage by any means. So what you're gonna want to do is she loves her cage. She doesn't mind it. It's fine for her, and she's okay with it. It's just something where she goes as a place of comfort. If you plan on leaving your dog in the cage, and I'm not gonna say you ever should do this, but if you plan on leaving your dog in your cage and you plan on using the cage as a disciplinary action, like your dog pees, they go in the cage. This is not something that you should do. If your dog pees, that is your fault if the dog pees in the house. Either you're not letting the dog out enough, or you're not paying attention, or you're just not giving them enough attention. You want to just kind of slowly implement the cage. Come here, look. So when she was a puppy, you're just going to let them go in and out of it, and then slowly close the door on them. All right, slowly close the door. Give it 5 minutes. Let them go in and out. Let them smell the cage. Let them get used to it, and leave it open like this. Now, if you're going to be one of those people that have to leave the dog in the cage, that's fine, but I don't recommend doing it if it's a puppy for more than 4 hours. All right. So when she was a young puppy, I had no choice to leave her in there for about 6 hours. But I eventually started implementing ways to leave her free roam the house. And the way I did that was to slowly, come here, Storm, was to slowly just, like I would go to the store for 15 minutes, okay? So I'd go to the store for 15 minutes and leave the cage open and her out of it. But give her not a ton of access to the house. And even to this day, she doesn't have access to the upstairs. Look, bird. She didn't even care. Anyway, she's not allowed upstairs even to this day. But when she was a puppy, she was limited access to outside of the living room. And then I eventually just slowly opening up everything. So she's allowed down here. And this is her area for when I'm at work, and that's fine. But, and that, you know, like I said, it takes a little bit of time. You want to slowly, 15 minutes here, 20 minutes there. So like usually, I don't, if I'm going for 12 hours or more, I'll come home, like sometimes I have to work 12-hour days at work. I'll come home and let her out and hang out with her for like 10 minutes, and then head back to work. Mama dog. I've said this. Alright, Mama. She just wants to play rope. That's all this dog wants to do. Oh! Come on. She just wants to play rope. That's all this animal wants to do. I don't blame her. It's fun. It's also, you can do like a back workout or... Anyway. So like I said, I'm not really opposed to people who have to leave their dog in the cage. I think that's fine, as long as you're not using it as a way for discipline as well. So like if your dog pees or poops in the house or tears something up and you're putting them in the cage for it, generally that's not a good thing to do, especially if you're leaving your dog in the cage when you leave for any amount of time. It's just, you should never discipline your dog with a cage. Like 98% of the time, it's your fault that the dog pissed in the house or shit in the house or tore something up. You know, as far as tearing things up goes, try toys that they can tear up. Try limiting their space in the house, like I said earlier. Give them access to little bits of the house. Don't give them access to where your $3,000 couch is or your $170 pillow. You know what I mean? Because there are $170 pillows. I have one in my room, and if she tears it up, I'm gonna be pissed. But also, I know that it's my fault because I'm not paying attention to her, or she doesn't have the right amount of attention to begin with. So those are things that you need to question yourself on. Like I always tell people, if you can't spend at least 45 minutes a day with your dog, just straight playing outside, throwing the ball, you know, rope playing, or training. Training should be fun. Training should be fun. Training should be not a chore. You know, if you feel like training your dog is going to be a chore, and you know it's I got to go out there and play with the dog, then you shouldn't have a dog. You know, that's just how it is. So look at her; she just loves this thing. She'll hang here for an hour at least. I know, Birdie. Oh, she's way too strong. Anyways, so as far as potty training goes, with puppies, it's like there's like a rule of thumb. So if it's for every month, that's like an hour. It's like an hour every hour. You need to let your dog out and go potty. When they go potty, you want to immediately reward them when they're outside, and they'll pick that up real quick. Going outside is good. I get pets. I get, you know, heavy petting, playing, and I get to go outside and play. So they should know that going outside is a good thing. When you see your dog go to the door, when she's getting, it's like, play with me, play with me. Those are signs you need to not ignore. Your dog's telling you she wants to play. Anyway, so your dog goes to the door, they're starting to pick it up, you want to reward them for that. Oh, you went to the door, good girl. They'll start picking that up, and they will start showing you that they will go outside to pee. She goes to the door, she whines in the morning now. She's like, let me out, let me out. Or like puts her wet nose in my face at 4 in the morning. Like, dude, let's go, I gotta piss. And that's something that comes with time, but eventually, if you go outside and make it a good thing that they go outside, then they'll pick it up quick. Now, those stupid potty mats and stuff that people put in their house, first of all, that's gross, and second of all, that's lazy. That means you should not have a dog, and this is my opinion, all right? But like, if you have to put one of those things in your house, then you clearly don't have time to walk your dog, to train your dog, to do the things that are needed to actually own a dog. And like, you're just gonna let them piss and shit in your house because it's easier for you. And that's just not what it is. That's just not what it means to have an animal. It's a living being. Treat it like a living being, not like it's a nuisance on you. And if it has to be a nuisance on you, then you need to rethink buying a dog. And you gotta think about all those things before you even make the purchase. So anyways, those are my tips. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will see you in the next one. I'll leave some links for other videos, and like right here and down there and all that stuff. And thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next one. I love you all. Peace.